Today we'll be doing another very exciting experiment between lead nitrate and potassium iodide. Here we are going to be handling lead. Lead is pretty toxic at times and I advise you not to do this at home. And even I'm going to be using a mask when we are actually doing a reaction. Please don't do this at home and please have fun while watching this experiment. Now, the setup is simple. We have two conical flasks, one labeled potassium iodide and the other labeled lead nitrate. We are going to be making our aqueous solutions of these powders in both of them respectively. We have a beaker filled with water. We have two test tubes on a stand containing potassium iodide powder and lead nitrate powder. Now, as I've already worn my mask, let's start with making our aqueous solutions of both these chemicals. We'll start with potassium iodide. Let's make our base for lead nitrate. Let's talk about potassium iodide powder. This is a crystal clear white powder which looks like sugar crystals. It's a simple salt which is not at all toxic. And let's start with pouring these powder into the potassium iodide base. And now we have made our aqueous solution of potassium iodide. Let's go ahead and make our aqueous solution for lead nitrate. Lead is toxic, so please be careful. I'm telling you guys again about the usage of lead. Now we can go ahead and mix both of these chemicals. So we have already made our aqueous solutions of both potassium iodide and lead nitrate. Ever wondered what is going to happen when we mix these two colorless solutions? Let's find out what happens. We have a glass tube through which we will suck in lead nitrate and put it into potassium iodide. We'll do that.
Oh my God! No!
You can see a yellow color precipitate forming out there, and you can actually see a solid forming in there. So you mix two colorless solutions and it forms a solid. You mix two liquids and it forms a solid. Isn't that amazing, guys? Isn't that really something? Very soon you're gonna have a solid through which we can feel, which we can actually touch. This is really something. Let's actually mix them together now. So you can see after mixing two colorless liquids, you can see a solid forming, a yellow solid. This is actually nothing but lead iodide. And you can see the precipitate falling down towards the bottom. Now let us explain what happens in this reaction actually. In this double displacement reaction, lead and potassium both displace each other, leaving their former radicals to form lead iodide and potassium nitrate in the product side. Now an interesting thing happens when you actually heat the solution. The precipitate starts to rise and it actually dissolves into the solution, that is lead iodide dissolves into the solution and it looks like clear water. When it starts to cool down, at that point of time, the lead iodide actually turn into crystals, hexagonal crystals, and come down to the bottom of the beaker. Now this scene in the chemistry lab is called golden rain.